Good day! I am Acer Marco, a third-year college student of Kapalonga College, College of Agriculture, and now I will present to you the history of computer. The history of computers goes back over 200 years, at first theorized by mathematicians and entrepreneurs. During the 19th century, mechanical calculating machines were designed and built to solve the increasingly complex number crunching challenges. The advancement of technology enabled ever more complex computer by the early 20th century, and computers became larger and more powerful. Today, computers are almost unrecognizable by the designs of the 19th century, such as Charles Babbage analytical engine, or even from the huge computers of the 20th century that occupied whole rooms, such as the electronic numerical integrator and calculator. Here's a brief history of computers from their primitive number crunching origins to the powerful modern day machines that surf the internet, run games, and streams multimedia. Let's start with the 19th century. In 1801, Joseph Marie Jacquard, a French merchant and inventor, invents a loom that uses punched wooden cards to automatically weigh fabric designs. Early computers would use similar punch cards. In 1821, English mathematician Charles Babbage conceived of a stream-driven calculating machine that would be able to compute tables of numbers. Funded by the British government, the project, called the Difference Engine, fails due to the lack of technology at that time, according to the University of Minnesota. In 1848, Ada Lovelace, an English mathematician and the daughter of poet Lord Byron, writes the world's first computer program. Lovelace also adds a step-by-step description of computation of Bernoulli numbers with Babbage machine, basically an algorithm, which in effect makes the first computer programmer. Bernoulli numbers are a sequence of rational numbers often used in computation. At the year 1853, Swedish inventor Per George Schotz and his son Edvard designs the world's first printing calculator. The machine is significant for being the first to compute tabular differences and print the results. At 1890, Hermann Hollerith designs a punch card system to help calculate the 1890 US Census. The machine saves the government several years of calculations and the US taxpayers approximately $5 million. In 1931, at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Vannevar Bush invents and builds the differential analyzer, the first large-scale automatic general-purpose mechanical analog computer, according to Stanford University. At 1936, Alan Turing, a British scientist and mathematician, presents the principle of universal machine, later called the Turing machine. Turing machines are capable of computing anything that is computable. The central concept of a modern computer is based on his ideas. Turing is later involved in the development of the Turing-Welchman bombe, an electromechanical device designed to decipher Nazi codes during World War II. In 1937, John Vincent Atanasoff, a professor of physics and mathematics at Iowa State University, submits a grant proposal to build the first electric-only computer without using gears, cams, belts, or shafts. In 1941, German inventor and engineer Konrad Zuse completes his Z3 machine, the world's earliest digital computer. The machine was destroyed during the bombing raid on Berlin during World War II. Zuse fled the German capital after the defeat of Nazi Germany and later released the world's first commercial digital computer. the Z4 in 1950 according to O. Reagan. Also in 1941, Atanasov and his graduate student Clifford Berry designed the first digital electronic computer in the US, called the Atanasov-Berry computer, or the ABC. This marks the first time a computer is able to store information on its main memory, and is capable of performing one operating every 15 seconds, according to the book of Birthing the Computer. In 1945, two professors of the University of Pennsylvania, John Mackley and J. Prisper Eckert, designed and built the electronic numerical integrator and calculator, or what we called ENIAC. The machine is the first automatic general-purpose electronic decimal digital computer, according to Edwin D. Real book, Milestones in Computer Science and Information Technology.
The world's first all-electronic, general-purpose digital computer.
ENIAC was revolutionary in being the first large-scale, general-purpose electronic digital computer ever built, and led to the evolution towards modern computer technology by developing the stored program architecture that is the fundamental architecture for all computers today.
In 1946, Mackley and Presper leaves the University of Pennsylvania and receive funding from the Census Bureau to build the UNIVAC, the first commercial computer for business and government application. In 1947, William Shockley, John Bardeen, and Walter Brattain of Bell Laboratories invent the transistor. They discover how to make the electric switch with solid materials and without the need of a vacuum. In 1949, a team at the University of Cambridge develops the electronic delay storage automatic calculator. EDSAC ran its first program in May 1949. In November 1949, scientists with the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, or the CSIR, now called CIRO, built Australia's first digital computer called the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research Automatic Computer, or the CIRAC. CIRAC is the first digital computer in the world to play music. At 1953, Grace Hopper develops the first computer language, which eventually becomes known as COBOL, which stands for Common Business Oriented Language. In 1958, Jack Kelby and Robert Noyce unveiled the integrated circuit, known as the computer chip. The first computer mouse was invented in 1963 by Douglas C. Engelbart and presented at the Paul Joint Computer Conference in 1968. In 1969, Ken Thompson, Denise Ritchie, and a group of other developers at Bell Labs produced Unix, an operating system that made large-scale networking of diverse computing systems and the Internet practical, according to Bell Labs. At 1970, the newly formed Intel unveils the Intel 1103, the first dynamic access memory chip. At 1971, a team of IBM engineers led by Alan Shogart invents the floppy disk, enabling data to be shared among different computers. 1972, Ralph Beer, a German-American engineer, releases Magnavox Odyssey, the world's first home game console. In September 1972, according to the Computer Museum of America. 1973, Robert Metcalfe, a member of the research staff for Xerox, develops Internet for connecting multiple computers and other hardware. In 1974, the Commodore Personal Electronic Transactor is released onto the home computer market, featuring an MOS Technology 8-bit 6502 microprocessor, which controls the screen, keyboards, and cassette player. The PIT is especially successful in the education market, according to O'Regan. In 1976, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak co-found Apple Computer on April Fool's Day. They unveil Apple I, the first computer with a single circuit board and ROM, or
read-only memory according to MIT. At 1977, Radio Shack began its initial production run of 3000 TRS-80 Model 1 computers, aspiringly known as the Trash 8. Also at the year 1977, the first West Coast Computer Fair is held on the San Francisco. Jobs and Wozniak present the Apple II computer at the fair, which include color graphics and features an audio cassette drive for storage. In 1978, VisiCalc, the first computerized spreadsheets program, is introduced. In 1979, Micropro International, founded by software engineer Seymour Rubinstein, released WordStar, the world's first commercially successful word processor. In 1981, Acorn, IBM's first personal computer, is released onto the market at the price point of $1,565 according to IBM. Acorn uses the MS-DOS operating system from Windows. Optional features including a display, printer, 2 diskette drives, extra memory, a game adapter, and more. In 1983, the Apple Lisa, standing for Local Integrated Software Architecture, but also the name of Steve Jobs' daughter, is the first personal computer to feature a GUI. Also this year, the Gavilan CS is released and is the first portable computer with a flip form design and the very first to be sold as a laptop. At 1984, the Apple Macintosh is announced to the world during the Super Bowl advertisement. The Macintosh is launched with a retail price of $2,500 according to the NMAH. At 1985, as a response to the Apple Lisa's GUI, Microsoft releases Windows in November 1985, The Guardian reported. Meanwhile, Commodore announces the Amiga 1000. In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee, a British researcher at the European Organization for Nuclear Research, submits his proposal for what would become the World Wide Web. His paper details his ideas for hypertext markup language, the building blocks of the web. At 1993, the Pentium microprocessor advances the uses of graphics and music on PCs. In 1996, Sergey Brin and Larry Page developed the Google search engine at Stanford University. In 1997, Microsoft invests $150 million in Apple, which at the time is struggling financially. This investment ends on an ongoing court case in which Apple accuses Microsoft of copying its operating system. At the year 1999, Wi-Fi, an abbreviated term for wireless fidelity, is developed, initially covering a distance of up to 300 feet or 90 meters, as Wired reported. In the year 2001, Mac OS X, later renamed OS X then simplified Mac OS, is released by Apple as the successor to its standard Mac operating system. OS X goes through 16 different versions, each with 10 as its title, and the first 9 iterations are nicknamed after big cats, which the first being codenamed Cheetah, as TechRadar reported. In the year 2003, AMD's Athlon 64, the first 64-bit processor for personal computers, is released to customers. In 2004, the Mozilla Corporation launches Mozilla Firefox 1.0. The web browser is one of the first major challenges to Internet Explorer, owned by Microsoft. During its first 5 years, Firefox exceeded 1 billion downloads by users, according to the Web Design Museum. In the year 2005, Google buys Android, a Linux-based mobile phone operating system. In 2006, the MacBook Pro from Apple hits the shelves. The Pro is the company's first Intel-based dual-core mobile computer. At the year 2009, Microsoft launches Windows 7 on July 22. The new operating system features the ability to pin applications to the taskbar, scatter windows away by sharing another window, easy to access jump list, easier previews of tiles and more, TechRadar reported. The year 2010, the iPad, Apple's flagship handheld tablet, is unveiled. In 2011, Google releases the Chromebook, which runs on Google Chrome's OS. In the year 2015, Apple releases the Apple Watch. Microsoft releases Windows 10. The year 2016, the first reprogrammable quantum computer was created. Until now, there hasn't been any quantum computing platform that have the ability to program new algorithms into their system. They're usually each tailored to attack the particular algorithms, said study lead author Shantanu Debnath, a quantum physicist and optical engineer at the University of Maryland, College Park. The year 2017, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency is developing a new molecular informatics program that uses molecules as computers. Chemistry offers a rich set of properties that we may be able to harness for rapid, scalable information storage and processing. Ann Fischer, program manager in DAPRA's Defense Science Office, said in a statement, "Billions of molecules exist, and each molecule has unique three-dimensional atomic structure, as well as variables such as shape, size, or even color. This richness provides a vast design space for exploring novel and multi-value ways to encode and process data beyond the OS and 1S of current logic-based digital architectures." And that is all about the history of computing. Again, I am Acer Marco. Have a good day, and thanks for watching.